Greetings, YouTube Pipe community, and welcome to the very first episode of Smoke Your Pipe and Be Silent. I'm your host, Paul, tuning in from the north of Sweden in the province of Lapland, where I intend to, in the course of this channel, check in with you from time to time to provide some meditations on the deeper things of life. Over the past time of Lent, we're still in the middle of Lenten season up until Easter, I've been taking a break from social media. So I've been off of Facebook, off of Instagram primarily, and trying to really limit my use of the phone. And during the time of this season, a thought has struck me. The early monastic movement that led to the Desert Fathers, if you've heard of them, in the Egyptian desert, and really the monastic movement in the 4th century and onward, was inspired by the conviction among these first monks that society was headed in the wrong direction. When they looked at society around them, they saw a sinking ship, and they thought that for the sake of one's own soul, that it was important to jump ship and swim for your life. And in their case, that turned into moving to the desert to find silence and solitude, to live an intentional life of what really matters, of prayer and contemplation, and developing oneself in the foundation of really what life is all about. And I've realized over the last season of Lent just how much of society today, in some cases, is definitely a sinking ship that I think we can all kind of understand and agree on. But also how easily we allow ourselves to be drawn down with the ship. How many things in life are, in a sense, enemies of the soul, that drag us down to levels that are below us, below what we're intended to be, what we're intended to live. And so the challenge of life in 2025, and the time we're in right now, is to live intentional lives whereby we hold on to the things that really matter, the things that really nourish the soul, the things that aren't drawn down with the ship, so to say. For me, pipe smoking is part of that. It's an escape from the sinking ship. It's an escape from the busyness of life, the noise, the craziness that I so easily allow myself to get entangled into. When I take myself out of that scene and light my pipe, then I am making a protest to the hamster wheel that is life in the day we live in. And one thing that I find to be a sign of hope in the midst of all of this is it's sort of, how to put this, places or outlets on the internet that I find to be of valuable, almost prophetic quality. Valuable in the sense that they're not just wastes of time that fill our minds with nonsense and distract us from being present in the space that we're in. And what was the other one I said? Yeah, anyway, they're a space of digital space that invites us into contemplation and community in a sense that is not in a sense, an illusion. Facebook started out as a place of keeping up with friends. I got onto Facebook in 2005 when you still needed a .edu email address in order to be a member. But now, one can think that Facebook is about keeping track of friends, but in reality, it's designed to keep us addicted to utter nonsense and the illusion of value and community on Facebook, which I'm sure in some places can really be redeemable and good. In reality, my own life I find to be something that hijacks my thoughts and brings me into a fog and a distraction that is really unhealthy. And so I find places on the internet, and I've found it during this time of Lent, that I find to be actually worth my time, actually worth stopping in the midst of what I do to focus on something that is in a digital space. And one of such areas is the YouTube pipe community. It sounds silly to say so, and it sounds almost sort of nerdy beyond doubt, and it really is nerdy beyond all redemption. But at the same time, I find in the space of online pipe community, people who actually want to connect on things that matter in life, that are not just stupid cat videos or pranks or whatever the trends of social media that can drag us down into. But especially in places like the Pipe Cottage Social, first of all, and in various YouTube videos, I find people in the YouTube pipe community, online pipe community, are seeking, first of all, they're people who are generally of a more contemplative character. People who value taking a break in life to consider the deeper things in life, and also have a proclivity to wanting to share that with other people, to not just be sitting on their own, but see really a value in exchanging ideas and showing support for each other, and also their experience of pipes and tobacco and all the details of our hobby, what they're concerned with. And I've been thinking to myself during this past time of Lent, why allow myself to be dragged down with the ship that is social media and all the garbage that's out there, that so many get caught up into, which isn't necessarily evil in and of itself, but I find leads to evil in a lot of ways, or leads to things that are less than good. Why allow myself to do that? Ideally, I would lead an analog life totally and say goodbye to all things digital. But at the same time, we live in a day and age where so much of our lives is digital. And I still want to think that there are redeemable qualities to an online presence. That being said, I realized that in the YouTube Pipe community, I could have an opportunity to be a presence that helps foster that sense of community, that provides content that can help to spur the other parts of the YouTube Pipe community onto living from a deeper source, or living life on a deeper level, that can be a way of redeeming the space that is social media on YouTube in a way that helps to promote a healthy and good sense of what social media and online presence can actually be, to be a resource and to be something that actually is a source of goodness in the day and age that we live in. There are plenty of channels out there in the YouTube Pipe community, all kinds of good ones, who share all kinds of great content. But one thing I realized was, wait a minute, How many of them are in Swedish Lapland? None that I know of. Well, one that I know of. A good friend of mine here, actually, but he hasn't made a video for a while. Maybe soon he will, the Happy Piper. But I think I may have some insights. I think I may have some nuggets of gold that I may be able to share, or at least attempt to provide a sense of quality online presence that can contribute to the YouTube pipe community being something, or online pipe community to be something that is a retreat from the chaos of society into something more valuable. With that being said, smoke your pipe and be silent is born. I intend to upload videos somewhat regularly with the thought of the day or whatever is going on. A little update on what's going on in my life, maybe, if you're interested in that. What I'm smoking it in, which is always interesting and important in the YouTube pipe community. And a time of reflection together. My reflections will often be of a spiritual nature. Often will be influenced by a Christian frame of mind, as I myself am a Christian and a theologian, seminarian. But I'm hoping that I can provide some thoughts that can appeal to people who maybe don't consider themselves to be Christians either, that maybe just are looking for a deeper sense of life and are willing to be open for how other people think. And so with this is my introduction. I look forward to seeing where this is going to go. This, by the way, is my Briarworks apprentice pipe. It's one of my favorites. It's a straight apple that I got at the Briarworks in Columbia, Tennessee. The apprentice pipes are made by their pipe makers in the making that maybe have made a mistake on a pipe, or the pipe, some sort of cosmetic error. This one, the shank isn't totally drilled straight, so they had to sand the stem in a way that turned it into a second. But I love this pipe. It's just me. And inside it, I have some McBaron Original Choice, which is a quality good aromatic. A little splash of Buffalo Trace. So, if this sounds like a channel that suits your fancy, give us a subscribe. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'm looking forward to see where this will go. And with that being said, this has been the first installment of Smoke Your Pipe and Be Silent.